Planet Zoo. A game where I have spent far too much time staring at this big empty green screen going, ultimately ending in quitting the game. So I'm gonna let this wheel decide my new zoo for me. And I mean like a real zoo, not a credit farm. And I am pretty pleased with the wheel giving me the biome and continent choice of Taiga in North America. I decided to name this zoo the Menagerie of Mayhem, or MOM for short. Seemed pretty fitting. First thing that I'm going to do is map out our free electricity range from the front gate. If you're playing franchise mode, always make sure you mooch off this right at the beginning. I'm going to lay out some starting path that I want to try and use. This can get kind of messy, so maybe just close your eyes. There, see? I told you, I'm basically a professional. Up here at the very edge of the electricity will be our staff starting hub. This wooded area over here, I would like to eventually have food, drinks for our guests, maybe even a gift shop. Maybe all of the above, I haven't decided quite yet. And stepping back, this is what our zoo is looking like so far. Now let's slap down some staff buildings. I don't need all the buildings right now, so I'm just gonna place a few for now and the others can go on top of these ones. Let's hire some friends and change their outfits. Oh, color choices. This might take a minute. Hold, please. Now that our staff is looking super snazzy in their new drip and absolutely fired up for work, let's go to the wheel and see what our first animal that will be added to the menagerie. With all the DLC, there are 210 choices with habitat and exhibit animals all mixed together. Oh my. Ooh, the common ostrich. That's actually a pretty good one to start with. At least it wasn't like an elephant or a lion or something expensive. And by expensive, I mean a bottomless pit with their stomachs. I'm going to get to work right away making my custom fence. I want to expand my building skills, so when I can, I will be creating my own barriers and not using the in-game ones. The benefits are that you can have hundreds of variations of fencing in your zoo, and because you are utilizing the null barrier, your mechanic can kick their feet up and do nothing. In fact, if you are using the starting free electricity, you can save your money and not even hire one right away. Real quick, I'm gonna throw some ostriches in here and make sure that they can't get out. Add some hard shelter, even though I don't think they need it, but I think they do. A few plants, not too many. Then rocks. Rocks can really help make your habitat look great. Don't be shy, rocks are your friends. If you think you've placed enough rocks, place more. And finishing it up with education, and now we have a nice ostrich habitat with a nice covered talking point and an educator that is close enough to be able to throw food as well. With that done, I'm going to spend a few moments on the staff area just to make it look a little better, and by that I mean I'm just going to throw some grid pieces at it so I don't have to look at the insulation of this building anymore. Also, we can't forget our sign, a mom staff only. We have our management googly-eyed bison. He is always watching, so you guys better not be slacking off because he'll tell me. Now that googly-eyed bison is keeping an eye on those guys, let's get back to the wheel. And we got the Gila Monster. Ooh, an exhibit animal. Oh, that's good. I have some ideas. If you notice, I left this space in the front open, hoping that I would get an exhibit animal sooner rather than later, and here we are. I have always wished that we can make exhibits bigger, like click them together to make them bigger. I have some ideas on how to make it look bigger, and I'm going to try that now. Trust me, I think you're going to like this. It won't be usable space for our little Gila Monster friend, but it'll look good, I think. I hope. Well, here it is, the bigger, better exhibit. Well, a faux exhibit, but I think it turned out really good. It's covered and there's education going on in the back, and the educator even pulls out our little friend to show people. We are pretty low on money right now, and so I need to sit here and take a bit of a play break. We don't need pause breaks in Planet Zoo, we need play breaks to accumulate more money. But let's at least see what we will be working towards next. And the wheel says Malabar Rose. Ooh, a butterfly from the newest base game update. Not gonna lie, a little excited for butterflies. Now, where are we gonna put them? Well, I guess I have time to figure that out since we are so low on cash that I can't even buy a walkthrough exhibit. I'm going to just sit here for a while and hope that our Gila Monster can fund the rest of this park, although it seems people are not terribly interested. Oh, there's some coinage. Yeah, thank you, kind sir. Oh, and we're being graced by the presence of an inspector. I swear I feed my ostriches, ma'am. Nothing to see here. Yeah, you better give me 5 stars. Oh, dang, it just got really cold. I better give everyone some heaters. Alright, enough faffing about. Let's get to this build. This seems like the most logical place to put the butterfly walkthrough. I have a vision. I see a gift shop. But my zoo is not quite big enough to justify one yet, but that doesn't mean I can't build a shell and just leave it empty for a while. Oh no, the first protesters have arrived. What are they complaining about? My Gila Monster, he's perfectly fine. Are you gonna at least buy a ticket? At least buy a ticket if you're gonna come in here and complain. Oh well, I'm sure they'll leave once they realize their mistake. Bye-bye now. This is the shell for the butterfly shop that I have right now. It seems pretty big for a shop, and I may be sticking more exhibit animals in here if we roll them just to fill it up a bit, but I like it so far. If you haven't noticed, I have a bad tendency to build too big. And just look how much you can earn by selling butterflies. If you are struggling to get a leg up in franchise mode, get a keeper hut, a break room, and some butterflies. You don't even need any other staff buildings. You don't even need a vet. With those all sold, I definitely feel comfortable going to my wheel for our next challenge. Ooh, the koala! So cute. Koalas are confident around humans, so I think I'm going to be putting them right up front. That'll be a good idea. See, now to me, I am internally questioning on if this will be enough space, just to slap down a barrier around it to see that it is a more than enough space. Way more space than I need. Is that going to stop me from building here? Nope, I'm still going to put them here in this space, and I hope they enjoy it. I start by making this cover for them that I will be putting some climbing enrichment in later, and then I want to make another custom barrier fence that they can't get out of, so I need to make sure to turn climbing off on all this wood. Next, I want to place the koalas I adopted inside this pen just to make sure they can't get out anywhere and that their terrain is right for them. Now I'm going to add foliage and rocks, the two things that really pull it all together. See what I mean? Instantly better. And I just realized after researching enrichment for the koalas that I actually have a nice eucalyptus tree that I could place in here and get rid of this one. And they can actually use this one and eat on it instead of it just being decor. Here is our newest habitat all done, the koala corner, where our guests can get up close and personal with these little babies. Oh, a really up close look, I guess. I guess I didn't turn off the climbing for the education board. Ah well, as long as you don't escape, I will leave it on for you, my dude. And the wheel gave us another exhibit creature, the sacred Scarab Beetle, and I have the perfect place for it, and with the power of editing, this will only take a moment. There we go. Another expanded exhibit for our new little dung rolling friends. Do you know which one they're in? It's this one. I know. It's super hard to tell. Oh, ye mighty wheel, what do you have for me now? Oh, the Pallas Cat. Well, your majesty, welcome to the party. Pretty sure the Pallas Cat is shy. Yeah, so we will want to utilize some of our one-way glass for these guys. I'm going to actually build their habitat back here by the staff buildings, and I kind of want to build them a castle. I don't know how this is going to turn out, but I'm going to try. I also want to name this little guy. I have not been inspired to name any of the other animals in the zoo so far, but this little one, this is gonna be King Arthur, and of course his wife Guinevere. Of course a custom fence is going in, and I am sure they can jump right on over this. But I think near the end I'm gonna add some mesh so they won't be able to get over and attack the guests. Although I'm not sure how dangerous these little cuties really are. So the castle is very square, but I tried my best. I like it. Now my favorite part, foliage and rocks. Yay, rocks. Don't forget rocks. They could really make or break a habitat. I'm gonna keep saying it. Rocks are your friends. And here is our Pallas Cat habitat all said and done. I do like the walk-through castle part. It is a nice place for the cats to get away from the guests, but little do they know the guests can still see them with such a great view of them thanks to one-way glass. One-way glass has got to be one of my favorite pieces to have to my habitat barriers whenever I have little shy guys. Time to go back to the wheel and roll once again. And we got the blue Morpho. Ooh, another butterfly. Well, this will be easy to add them into our existing butterfly house. Just like that, now we have all of our enrichment researched and placed, and we can fill in the blank spots of this walkthrough habitat with more foliage. And with the power of editing, there we go. Now this is much more filled in and pretty with flowers for our little butterfly friends. I also took this time to finally fill in the gift shop, which I have named Fluttery Treasures, with plenty of shelf space for various goods for our guests to buy and give me more money. Complete with an info booth, and I also added ATMs so there's no excuse not to spend every one of your dimes here. Guests come to the park with a set amount, but if you place down ATMs, they can pull out even more to spend while they are visiting. And into our walkthrough butterfly exhibit, where we now house 2 different species of butterflies. I can't wait until we can roll some more and really fill this place up. Exiting, we get another look at our little dung buddies, and there is now a memento, balloon, and hat vendor in here to help keep congestion out of the gift shop. On the other side, I finally added some food and drink. It just seemed like the right time, and I will probably be mirroring the food and drink stalls on this other side too, just with different vendors for a variety. And that, gals and pals, is our new Fluttery Treasures. With food and drink now set up and running in the zoo, that means, yes, now it is time to clutter up our pretty zoo with ugly, ugly trash cans. Guests don't travel too long before they just get bored with holding their food wrappers and litter them everywhere. Gross, and a major panda eye roll from me. I don't know about you guys, but I would be putting trash in my pocket or in my bag before I just drop it on the floor. Anywho, on to the next. Wheel says, Aardvark. Ooh, this little cutie can be pretty shy, so I'm going to be placing him behind the Pallas Cats. I'm going to cut away from our path to give our guests a view without blocking the main flow of traffic. In our custom barrier, even though I'm going to be placing the barrier pretty low, I'm still going to be using the one-way glass to hopefully help with stress. I'm also going to add a little house in the back that will serve as the back area for the zookeepers. I am still very new to adding back staging areas, so they are pretty barren, but I'm trying. Next, I'm going to add enrichment and a burrow for our new little friends. Foliage and rocks are always needed to facelift any enclosure. See how much better this looks? And I covered the burrow with rocks, and it looks even better. It looks like it's part of the scape. A simple and cute little habitat for our aardvarks. Time to go back to the wheel and see what I roll next. Dromedary Camel. I think it is time that we get out of our starting electricity. I tried to utilize as much of the starting space as I could, but it is definitely time to move out of this spot. Starting with a custom fence for our camels and a fence for our guests as well. Pretty sure camels can be pretty friendly and tolerate humans, but still, I don't need a lawsuit because my camel spit on some kid. I added this large barn in the back with a path through the back with one-way glass to give our guests a good look at our camels while they are resting. Right now this path doesn't lead to anything, but this will be one of the paths to the next section of the zoo. I really like the way this shell turned out, but let's add some enrichment. And of course, we're gonna give this habitat a nice glow up with some rocks and foliage. I'm always so amazed at how different a habitat can look with a little bit of plant life. This is our new and lovely dromedary camel habitat. It was about this time that I noticed how well we're doing on money and decided that it was time to give other parts of the zoo little bits of foliage love. These odd empty spaces in between paths are always great to throw in a planter, or a planter and some benches. Look how nice this area looks now. So much better. The menagerie is starting to look like an actual zoo. Next up from the wheel is another exhibit animal, the giant forest scorpion. Nothing too exciting here, I just placed down a new exhibit right next to our bathrooms across from our camel habitat that we just made. Yeah, pretty happy with that. Oh no, I had to stop everything because our king is about to pass. Oh no, not King Arthur. No, your majesty. And splat. Aw, man, this is so sad. Need to take a moment of silence for our king. Oh, okay, I guess that's enough of that for now. Time to quickly get over our sadness by adopting a fresh Arthur. There, no one will ever know. Babies, babies, babies. Everyone's having babies around here. Oh, and Mom is gonna go to sleep right after that. Well, I can't blame her. We all know how hard triplets can be. You're 18? Come on, Wheel, give us something good. Oh. Oh my. Hippos. And not even pygmy hippos. These are big boy hippos. Oh dear. Hippos need a lot of space. And even more water, deep water to swim around in. I'm pretty sure I'm going to make this way bigger than it needs to be, but I do have an idea. I want to add a watertight space with glass barriers to allow for our guests to get an underwater viewing experience with our hippos. So I have to use the barriers that are in the game for that. This is probably gonna take some trial and error. Hold please. There. Now that that is in and it is holding water, I'm going to place a building piece, doesn't matter which one, at the top of where the water is, so I know where to raise the terrain to. Delete this part of the barricade, raise up the ground, make sure it still holds water, and it does. Perfect. On this side of the enclosure, I wanted to use these windows and underwater viewing to give the guests a nice view while they're eating. This is going to be a restaurant. This is the restaurant shell. I love restaurants because they do not make trash like all the other stands do. I thought it would be cool if the restaurant had an animal to view to go with it, and I'm just going to use a lot of concrete for this building. It's brutalistic. I feel like if any animal was into brutalism, it would be hippos. I'm also going to make the hippos a covered sleeping spot up here on the hill so that way they can get away from guests if they want to. And let's just double check to make sure I didn't do anything that would prevent my water from filling in. And everything is looking real good. Next, I'm going to add the area for the keepers to enter the habitat as well, which will just be on the back of this little pill-shaped building. I'm also going to give the hippo keepers their own hut, staff room, and research area. This will help keep travel time down since the zoo is getting bigger. Finishing off the barrier of this habitat with some nice rock formations that I'm just going to copy and flip back and forth to give variety so it doesn't look like I just slapped down the same rocks over and over again, but really I did. And I know I want a waterfall. I do like these waterfall pieces. It does make just slapping down a waterfall a lot easier. Just cover it with rocks and it looks great in any habitat. Just like that, see? A few rocks later and this is looking pretty good. Now let's add some foliage. And what? How did this little guy get out? What? I didn't think the koalas had an escape point. Okay, that's weird. I'm just gonna chalk that up to a fluke. Okay, back to plants. Don't forget to add plants to the bottom of your water area too. This will really help bring life to the water area. And of course we have to add some lilies to the top. These lily pads are so nice for a little added touch and it looks really cool when the animals swim through them. I especially like to use them in my swampy habitats for some of our more cold-blooded friends. Because the zoo has gotten bigger, I think it's time that we hire some more friends to help out. And here is our finished hippo habitat, complete with toy enrichment on one side of the falls and food on the other so the keepers can actually reach it. And it is all connected to the Hungry Hippos restaurant. Now, this is still pretty bare bones. I'm not even really sure what or how to decorate the interior of this, but look at these lucky people over here. They have the potential of having a really awesome view while they eat their food. Yeah, what do you think of the view of the hippo? Pretty amazing, right? Right? Doesn't it just make you want to empty your pockets into my donation bins? Oh yes, yes it does. Yes, give me all your money. You don't need to pay rent or get groceries, just give me all your money. Yes, small child, empty your piggy banks into my bins. Hahaha, everyone loves hippos. Look at that view, how cool is that? Such magnificent and terrifying creatures. Oh, look at that kid up there. That kid is just awestruck. This is the coolest thing this kid's ever seen. What do you guys think of this hippo right here while you eat, huh? Pretty cool, huh? Well, she's shy, guys, sorry. And back to the wheel for our next animal, and we got another exhibit animal. I am surprised at how many exhibit animals I've gotten. This time it is the Diamondback Terrapin, which is a little turtle. And I'm not going to waste any time with this. I'm just going to place it right here outside the hippo area. And I also spruced up the hippo talk point as well. And it was at this moment that I realized that our manager, the googly-eyed bison, has not been doing his job. There we go. Yeah, Yeah, you do your work. No more slacking off. The manager is on duty now. Then I took a minute to look at our new baby hippo. Oh, look. Look at her. She is so cute. She isn't as cute as Moodang, but honestly, he is pretty hard to beat. Ugh, now I want pygmy hippos. Let's see what the wheel wants to give us next. Snow leopards. Oh, okay. I actually have a few of those. The guys in my trade center from my conservation credit zoo called the Murder Mittens. I'm sure you can guess what I breed there for credits. I started making the snow leopard habitat right next to the ostriches and hippos. I wanted to give a nice covered area for the guests to enter and see the leopards. I also want to use one-way glass since snow leopards are shy and tend to get stressed out from all the people. And I can't blame them, people freak me out too. I also wanted to make a rock background with a little bit of a rock area that they can climb, maybe go to sleep up there. Just need to make sure that they can't escape from up here too. That would be bad. Finishing up the habitat, I will need to add enrichment and of course rocks and foliage and some coolers. Now my leopards are still little babies, but they're pretty close to aging up, so I'm not going to worry about putting an adult in here just yet. They're so cute. And look at that, they can use the rock ramp I made that leads them right up to their sleeping area. Oh, they grow up so fast, don't they? Oh, so cute. These two are not related and should be just fine with giving the zoo some babies. And here is the final snow leopard habitat. And I realized as I was editing this flyover that she actually had her babies right as we flew over. Did you see them? 2 new little ones. After hitting year 25, we have all of our research finished and really close to 5 stars in the zoo already. Just that darn education. I swear I always fall flat on education. The zoo is making profit year after year and we just hit 600K in the bank. 13 animals ended up in the zoo on this go around. There is really no rhyme or reason to this layout, and that is okay. I'm living for the chaos. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for this new adventure. This is just part 1 of our zoo. Next, I will be working on year 25 to 50, and then 50 to 75, and finally 75 to 100. And after we get to 100, I'll see if we'll want to continue on even further than that. Maybe, just maybe, we'll keep going until the wheel is empty and every animal is in our zoo. Or until my computer crashes, whichever comes first. Many hours went into this zoo, and I learned a lot with editing and trying to keep my clips organized and scripting along the way, making notes of everything. This is the first time I have ever done anything like this, so I am really hopeful that my next video will be out, done and out much faster because I have learned so much, like I said. I'll be reading comments below for any suggestions for the next couple of videos that I'm planning on making. I have not started recording as of yet, but I will be really soon. The one thing that I thought about maybe doing, I have all the DLC and I have all the mechanic research done, so I was thinking about adding a wheel that will then tell me maybe what materials to use and then being locked to just using the materials for that DLC, because I feel like I kind of use the same things over and over again, and I thought that could be like a little added spice to the challenge. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you guys tuned in on day 1 when I uploaded this on September 12th, today is my birthday. Maybe give me a little like, a subscribe, or don't, you know, whatever. Now I better go. I have some red velvet cheesecake that is calling my name. Yum! What's your favorite sweet treat to have on your birthday? And if today's your birthday too, happy birthday! I'll see you guys next time. Bye!